Hey, hey,
Hey, Rambo. How's it going?
it's going great. The weather here is unbelievably hot.
There's so much sun coming through your window right now. Like I can barely see you. Your room is so bright. Like it's all washed
Uh,
out. Where's Rambo go?
Shorts and t-shirt for the last two
Wow.
days. First time in ages.
Is this spring? Is it spring for y'all? Is it officially spring or is it summer? How does that work?
Spring, it's
Yeah.
spring, but this is kind of the always when you get the most sun, I feel over here. Like in this
Oh,
time, like by August, it's raining all the time.
really? Oh, yeah. You mentioned that a couple episodes ago. You said that you guys get a good 3 week stretch of
Yeah,
sunshine, and
and
then the
we're in it right
rest
now.
of the year, the other 49 weeks in a calendar year, are just cloudy,
All
dreary.
all the pubs are like really busy outside, driving past,
Mhm.
everybody's out.
What's the
Like
mask situation like? Or is it
not
Matt?
not seen any adults with a mask, but although I have seen like young like teenagers walking down the streets in masks still, just on their own, just but they're the
So
ones that are finished
rebellious.
for the future. Do you know, like that's stuck with them forever now, do you know?
Mhm.
Because say I seen one who must have been about 16, so 2 years he's had that in his head that I can get COVID. I've been off school and now he's left school and he's just walking the street in a mask anyway, do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's more ingrained in the kids. It's going to take them longer to let go of the thing. It was never real. I mean, we can let go of it in an instant and we'll all be fine because we didn't. It was just a conceptual thing to begin with. But for a kiddo, it reminds me of what Les brought up when he was talking about one of his first scenes, on the ground, in the train station when everyone's huddled together and everyone's given this little package, this little war package, and it's got, a bottle of water and a little package, a
And the
little tin
blanket.
sandwich and a blanket, your war blanket and your little, sandwich wrapped in foil and all of these, the unwrapping of the sandwich and the cover, the shrouding of yourself in the blanket, putting it over your shoulders. You're in war. You're a victim
I've
of war
just
at
been
that
having a
point.
little chat with Les then about this and the Potemkin village. Do you know, like, have you heard of that
Ooh,
term, the
yes, I've heard of it.
Potemkin?
Tell me, tell me.
It's kind of what we said about North Korea. I just didn't know the word
Yep,
for it. I would just say fake or Hollywood set, but
yep. A completely
Potemkin, you know,
fabricated town. Yeah, tell me.
and that's kind of what Kiev now is. Isn't it really? It's just a town with nobody there. Red
Yeah,
fit for whatever they want it to be.
made for this. A
Yeah.
town made for this that we have
Something
interacted
else.
with. People can interact with. People could, people be like, well, hey, well, I've been there. It's not fake. I've been there in my life. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's existed. It's been a territory, but at the end of the day, we just believe in these states, these statehoods. There's no real boundary line. There's all these territories are false. It's all just it's not a real place. None of it's real. Yeah.
So yeah, I've got this friend, and he is a listener. Shout out to Sean. He won't be he's under a different name, and
Oh.
he's not long been listening to us, but he does know we've been going for ages, and he was never on this everything fake thing until this Kiev thing come up, and he said to me, I wrote it to me and you and Les. I said, he messaged me saying, other than Kiev, I've never heard of anything else in Ukraine. Like, what else is there? He said, I'd only ever heard of that town.
Mhm.
Could it be that there's nothing else really there? He knew about these YouTubers that go around these Soviet villages showing that it's already bombed and stuff.
Yep.
He said, is that all there is there outside of Kiev? Just everything is already just derelict buildings.
I love
And
that question. Yeah.
mm,
I would add one thing. Is it even as big? Like, it's not just that is the space filled with emptiness and nothing going on. Is it even big? Or is it just this tiny little, because we imagine, we see it on map, we see these vast spaces. They're saying that Ukraine, to give it context, Ukraine is the size of Texas approximately. And to give that context, you can fit 8 South Koreas, the country of South Korea, you can fit 8 of those inside of Texas. So you could fit 8 of those inside of Ukraine. It's a big space land-wise, they say. But what if it's not? What if it's not, like what if that territory is same with China? Like especially those ghost cities and stuff. Who knows what's going on? Like maybe they just tell us it's bigger than it is, but it's really not that big. That remind me, we'll talk about the moon being a projection. That kind of ties into that. We'll come back to that though. But back to Les. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, and he texts me, my friend, he texts me saying about this he'd been looking at these comments in Les's thing, and it's people saying like, go to Mariupol or whatever Mariupol. He said, can't stop looking at this place. And he said, I don't even think it's a real place. He said, I don't even think it's actually a place.
Wow, he's really come around.
But yeah, massively. I was like shocked. Yeah. That I don't think Mariupol exists as like a town with people living in it and stuff. And then that Potemkin village thing comes up again. You know, it's already bombed out. So these, what they call like, there's like this one reporter who's like Ukrainian on Twitter.
Yes.
And he's like got like 900,000. And he's like going around this Mariupol and he's showing like on his video recording like blown up tanks and bodies hanging out of them, and he's like stepping over them and stuff like that. I'll try and find his name. And when you look, it just doesn't look real.
Right.
It just looks like a game.
It looks like a facade. Everything's a facade. Like if at first glance, without scrutiny, like just like a Potemkin village, you know, it's essentially a Potemkin village is any space. It's a word for any space that is it's like the facade of homes or buildings or, you know, storefronts or town squares or whatever. It's just but behind it, behind the fronting is nothing. Is absolutely nothing. There's nothing behind it. But if you're in the center, if you're positioned correctly within the Potemkin village, you can look around and if you're at the right angle, if they position you at the right angle, you can easily fall for the facade of a Potemkin village because the surface looks real. If all you see is the surface and you're positioned where you only need to see that front surface, you can easily be faked. But, you know, you reposition yourself, you reposition your vantage point, which is what we're essentially trying to do here on this. I feel like every conversation we have is like trying to reposition how we see anything and everything. So yeah, like look it up. Look up Potemkin Village, see for yourself, but it's very interesting how fake it looks once you're just positioned properly.
Yeah.
And how real it looks also when you're positioned properly. And that's what they do. Through society, they really position us, position our way of thinking, position our vantage point, position everything, keep us. I mean, there's a reason we can't go on airships anymore. Like we can't be at certain heights, you know, like they positioned on the ground, you know, like we're kind of positioned in many ways, but I was thinking mostly with thought. But yeah, and then we see the world.
Zelensky guy, which you posted a little thing into the chat of him and his wife.
Oh yeah.
And it's like her surname is Zelenska and he is Zelensky. And
I'm not sure if that's a Russian thing. If like the surname gets feminized or masculine I didn't look that up, but I was like, that'd be weird if it was just a coincidence.
They look very similar.
They do.
And they're both the same age as well. They're both 44.
It looks like he's playing her.
Yeah, it does. But then what I was just chatting then about if you type in on Reddit now, green screen, right? Mm-hmm. It just brings up loads of videos of Zelensky green screen. Yeah. Like everyone's like calling out like, oh, he's in front of a green screen. Is these big YouTubers like with millions of views, millions of subscribers doing breakdowns on how he's in front of a green screen. Look at this, his arms just glitched. He's in front of a green screen and stuff like that. And constantly. Is it a double bluff? Is it a double bluff that he isn't in front of a green screen? The whole thing is fake, but we're looking at it as though there's a real person stood there in front of a green screen when in fact the whole thing is just digital completely.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to Les. He brings back, we've talked about the concept of the double bluff and lots of different, we've hit it in some ways, but like he really brought it back into our frontal cortex with this war, you know, the double bluff of the war. Like we keep seeing instances of where it's like they're showing us something that is purposefully X so that we will, it's like designed to, it's like bait and a trap, you know, it's like it's like, they know what we're looking for. We're looking for fakery. So they specifically devise a trap that is all the fakery points. So we'll jump on it. But even that is calculated in a way.
It's taken away from the fact that it's all fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's not these one,
It's not
and shout
just
out
a
to
green
Liz.
screen.
Shout out to Liz. I've got to say, back in the day, like when this, before, really when, I think before the war was declared, it was early on, before this was being talked about, Liz introduced to us that Zelensky, she reminded all of us that he was, an actor and a comedic actor. And not only was he a comedic actor, but he played this president on, the whole, it's like so meta. It's like art imitating life, imitating art. And going back to the Potemkin Village, if you watch that show, it's very visually, the buildings are either very visually CGI or Potemkin Village-y. So it's kind of like connecting all the dots. If you actually, and Netflix just picked up Zelensky's show.
Yeah, and what I was thinking is, did these shows even exist before this war?
They didn't have to. They didn't really.
No, they didn't have to because nobody knew who he was. Nobody needed to know.
These shows were
actor.
So popular in Ukraine. It's like saying it's the most popular show in North Korea.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Then all of a sudden, all his work starts popping up, and that kind of like positions him as a real person. He's an actor. He's been here. He's been there. And then who was searching him up before this war? Kind of like the Epstein thing. Like, who was searching Epstein on the internet before the Epstein thing popped up? Nobody. It didn't need to exist other than.
Right. He was introduced in a Vanity Fair article in 1993, but that's the first one. Like, that's all it took. And then that just kind of
his introduction
that was his introduction to society. So people would think that there was some play, because back then they were still writing about him as if he was a playboy, Jeffrey Epstein, man of mystery, billionaire, playboy, Jeffrey Epstein, who lives in the largest residence in New York. And it's not even a residence, it's a school. And it's like, why does he live in
Oh, of course it's a school.
It's not even like meant to be a home. People are like, "Ooh, it's the largest home in all of Manhattan." It's like, y'all, it's not even like a house. It's a commercial building that has a house facade that has like a very interesting front. And actually, if you read that Vanity Fair article, I would recommend. This has actually been homework before. I think maybe it was homework in the first season of Realize Radio, but the Vanity Fair article, it talks about Jeffrey Epstein as if he doesn't exist, because everything is like he was a specter-like figure, which means ghost. Like, there's so many little, now that we know this language, this subliminal language of like telling us the truth right in plain sight, where they like basically tell us it's all fake. Go back and read that article. Everything, even the way they describe the building, they kind of talk how it's like not really a real house. They talk about how he's like so mysterious. They actually talk about how he seems to be like a mechanical, almost like a Westworld style bot. Like,
I need to watch Westworld. I'm going to watch it. So whoever wrote that in the comments, I'm going to watch it. Definitely.
I was going to say, people are starting to talk about it. People are starting to be concerned that you're not watching.
Definitely. 100% I'm going to watch
Rambo,
it.
all your friends, we've all said that you need to watch this. It's like the intervention. It's like an intervention to watch Westworld.
Yeah, I'm going to, because what little clips I've seen, it is making a lot of sense. And a lot of people do refer to, it's like Westworld. And
all you got to watch is the first couple of episodes, really. If you don't feel it, let it go. I think you would have learned everything you need to about conceptually when we talk about the quote-unquote Westworld of it all. It's a really tight show in the pilot. Like, I feel like sometimes pilot episodes, which is your first episode, those are always filmed independently of the rest of the series. And sometimes there's a disjoint. Sometimes the pilot, because the pilot has to do so much. The pilot has to prove the thing. So sometimes the pilot tells you everything. Sometimes the pilot episode, you actually do usually find that. It tells the whole story of every character, like all the main characters. It gives you like a hint or flavor of their story. Its pilot episodes are pivotal in so many ways. It gets a show off the ground. It gets a bought, and then the rest of it's created around that. But anyway, yeah. So if you just watch the first episode, you'll learn so much. You'll like it's not that you have to watch all 40 hours of television. Like, you can just give it a couple of hours, and I think you'll be. And then if you really like it, go ahead, watch it. But if you don't,
I'm going to watch it anyway. I need to watch it.
You should. And you have HBO, right? Like, you have.
Yeah, no, we have it. We have other things like it's. Yeah, we have it anyway.
I was
I've
always
got
like,
it.
you can use my HBO login, Rambo. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's okay. I'm okay. I'll watch it.
Did you notice the other week it come out? Putin was a deep fake on one of the videos that was gone out.
Oh, yes. That was being talked about by everybody, like CNN,
Yeah,
Twitter News, everything. Yeah.
But so they used that, and then straight after that, a Zelensky deep fake video came out, and they're saying this is a real. They let us know this is what a deep fake Zelensky is. You know, I actually posted it on my Twitter. Yeah, again a double bluff. You're thinking that is an actual real person, and there was also a little video of Putin's hand going through like the microphone, like it goes right through.
Yes.
And I remember.
Shout out to my Maria. I think she posted that. That was a long time ago too, like a month ago. And I remember she was the first one I saw that from. She posted that, and it was like Putin's hand just goes straight through the mic, CGI style.
I remember posting something very similar to that on NASA a while back, and it was like they were in space, and the guy's hand goes straight through the wire.
Yes.
And I called it augmented reality at the time. Do you know?
Yeah.
Was that?
And Biden, remember when his hands went through the microphone?
Yeah, through the mic again.
Yeah. Same thing.
So
there's something about
is
the
it
microphone.
augmented reality, or is it to make you think that's what it is, and the whole thing is just completely digital? Another double bluff. Because we're looking at that as though like it's a deep fake or it's augmented reality. Because I called it augmented reality back in the day on that NASA video. And you know what? In the comments, everyone was like, you're mad, you're reaching and all this stuff. And then now it just seems like it wasn't reaching. It's there now. Do you know what I mean? People are seeing it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I know. Oh, I used to get that with the purples. I mean, I haven't been so upset.
You're reaching.
Yeah, you're crazy. A lot of people were like, you've lost your mind. Like you never had it, but whatever you thought you might have had, you lost. And then, maybe a month later, they'd be like, what happened? You turned purples on. Now all I see is purple. And I was like, oopsie. Whoopsie. Yeah, once you become aware of something, it becomes quite obvious. Oh, speaking of colors, okay, so shout out to Leo. He is all about, Leo Biddle, fellow patron. He is all, I feel like his fascination is mostly animals. That's like one way, not mostly, but I feel like he's really passionate about animals. And so when we're talking about animals being fake, he's always like,
have a chat with Leo about animals sometime.
We're definitely going to have a chance to chat with him. But he's on the color train right now. Like I'm seeing so much information about blue and yellow coming from Leo. So shout out to Leo for I love color. I'm the purple girl. I love, the violet and red make purple and magenta. You mentioned this, and I love this stuff. And Rainbow, when you think of blue and yellow, which we're seeing everywhere, like it's everywhere. What do you think of that color combo?
I think of the sky.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yellow
I
sun,
actually posted a
blue
photo.
Sky, green grass.
So I actually posted a photo on somebody's comment the other week when they written like, post something that's like you took a picture of, and I took a picture of my local park water. And the reason I took the picture is I was walking with a friend and I looked at the sky and I said, that looks like the Ukraine flag. So I took a picture of it. And then I actually posted it because it looked like a really nice picture, actually. And I think you commented on it as well.
Yeah.
Like, just like the...
Yeah.
And it looks just like the Ukraine flag. And I think that's what it's kind of representing. What did they say? It's the colour of... They say the blue and the yellow. Is it like the colour of God?
Maybe. I mean, that's what we... Okay, so
God's
blue
favourite
and yellow...
colour.
We know blue and yellow make green. We know that. Like, that's primary school... That's what it is. Blue and yellow make green. So the blue sky and the yellow sun make green grass. That's something, I think that's like, maybe it's like telling us that the sky's fake, which we think, I think there's something going on there.
Yeah, we've said
and
this before.
And the sun could be artificial. What if, and like green, we're like, oh, it's nature, it's green, it's nature. Y'all, nature is just a mathematical expression. Nature's code. Nature is I mean, have you ever looked really closely at a sunflower? Like that shit is wild. What's going on with the patterns just in that simple flower? Like nature's wild. Look at a leaf, and you'll see the universe. It's so insane. But what does that mean? Maybe this is like. I do think blue and yellow is kind of like a prison. They say, why is the sky blue? And the answer is because that's the most calming color for prison walls.
Well,
I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
yeah, but I feel like there's still more to come with that blue and yellow and why. Like, and then there's seen a lot of like mock-ups of like people are using it as real, but like Homer Simpson holding the Ukraine flag in the background of like, I've seen that posted quite a bit. And that is apparently a fake Simpsons episode. You can't find the episode
Right.
where he's holding this
I've
Ukraine
noticed
flag
that
in
a
the
lot.
background.
I've noticed that a lot. Where like, okay, so we understand that the Simpsons predicted a few things, but like now people are just like making Simpsons clips that
Yeah.
are like altering Simpsons clips to make them do something that they're not. And that technology is actually quite, I kind of wonder, I don't know. Like, I know some things. I mean, I watched The Simpsons like religiously as a kid. Not so much in, like, then it's still going on. Like, there's still Simpsons episodes. I haven't watched anything like in the
Why
past,
is it
like,
still going
I
on?
don't know. I don't know. There's something to that. I got Matt Groening and Seth MacFarlane. I got my eyes on them. Same thing with
You use
Mike Judge.
purple a lot as well, like in the Simpsons
The entire
episode.
show is purple. The entire home is purple. This house is magenta walls. Everything. You will be gobsmacked when you go back and you
Then
see
the
how
blue
much
and
purple.
yellow, Maggie, blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow
Bart
Maggie.
Simpson's shorts, blue and yellow. Homer's
Yep.
jeans, blue and yellow. Margie's hair, blue and yellow.
Yeah. Oh no, have you seen that one where they're all holding? Yeah, the Ukrainian. They're like, it's just a still. It's not like part of the show. They're like a white background, but they're all just holding the Ukrainian flag. But Marge's hair becomes the Ukrainian flag. It's kind of funny. I mean, she's got that big. It's like the flagpole. Her hair is a big blue flagpole, and then the big flag's coming out. It's kind of funny.
I'm thinking like, so say I was watching an episode of that Black Mirror again the other day, and the whole show was blue and yellow, and I'm thinking like, has this been changed by Netflix to be blue and yellow?
You know, maybe they can tune the overlay of these things. I mean, I could. Okay.
Because you wouldn't remember if you'd watched it a year ago. You wouldn't remember if that was blue and yellow, and then like,
yeah, I bet they can
because those
tune up
colors
and tune
you wasn't
down
aware.
colors.
Yeah.
Over broadcast. Yeah, if they can insert planes in 2001 over live broadcast, they can tune colors through our screens that were being. They can just update I mean, I can take any video, go into Adobe Premiere, or go into like even a very easy program to get into, and just isolate certain colors. I can take all the blue and change all the blue to a different frequency. So the blue is now green. You know, I can manipulate the coloring significantly. It will no longer feel right, but it can look seamless, you know. But when the sky's purple, you're like, hey, that's not right. So she must have done something to that. But you can tweak and tune them to where it's still within like what you would accept, like what the mind would accept, but it's totally different. You know, like the colors are totally different now. Like you can take like a beautiful spring day and tune it down to like look like a super, super drab, you know, like something you like all the color, you like totally rob it of its inherent like vibrance, but still make it look real, you know, not like you've just washed it out. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
And does somebody need to do that? This is what I'm thinking. Like, does somebody need to do that, or can it be done by algorithm, by
I think
AI?
everything that exists, I think all platforms that are interfaced by actual people doing their actual job, they're just doing X and they're not manipulating it in any way. Above them, unbeknownst to them, I believe that there is a global hand, a big hand on big media. So even when good-hearted producers of content, I think, you know, this people put stuff out there and then it goes to a place that before like it gets finished, like the finishing. I think there's a step in the process that is disconnected, and that's when the magic, quote unquote, happens. And I don't know. And I think like with broadcast stuff, like those broadcasters, I don't think they were actively manipulating it. I think that there was like a hand of God style thing that took over the airwaves, and no one was. And there's like a mechanism designed to do this. And when you think about every delivery system, it's all controllable. It's all manipulatable. You could just pop in, pop out, plug in, plug out. Whoever's in charge ultimately, and that would still allow everybody to do their job and not be in on it. And it's like, yeah, how do we get away with that? How are so many people in on it? They're not. They're not in on it. They're not doing anything. They're doing their
a
job.
lot of it is left to the computer, and this is what I wanted to get to. And I'd like to shout Abby out for this. She put me onto this, the dead internet theory.
Internet, Abby.
Honestly, I've not been off it. I can't get away from it. It's a rabbit hole that I'm kind of in right now.
Fellow patron, she's actually given me some of the most incredible information. Shout out to Abby. She's she's a real one. She's a real one. Dead internet. Rambo, this is your new fascination. What is dead internet theory?
Basically that, like, the old internet as we know it, where you would like go on and put blogs on and have those little chats. That when I first come across the internet, I was in MSN chat, it was called. So you chat with people who I'm assuming were real at the time, like, and all that's kind of just gone. And there's like things off the internet that have kind of vanished. The internet kind of vanishes behind you, doesn't it? So a new story will come along, and by the time the answers to the old story come out, nobody cares. That story's gone enough into the internet, you know?
Yeah, just kind of vanished. Oh, this is replicated too with page searches, right? Like with
so the guy does like an experiment, this guy on this video, and he searches up pizza, and it brings up, like, say, for example, 3 billion results on pizza. Yeah. And he gets to the end of like page 35 and the results are all gone. Like, where are these 3 billion results?
It was like 400. It was like only like a few hundred. Yeah.
So he's saying, like, Google is a Potemkin village. He's like, it's supposed to look like this mega thing, that the answer to everything on it, but really it's not that big. We're just led to believe that it is.
My goodness. Google is a Potemkin village. Wow, I've never thought of it that way, but that is exactly what it is. I've experienced the drop off of URLs. Like, especially with the John Benet Ramsey thing, I remember, I think I noticed this. I didn't know it was dead internet theory related to it whatsoever, but I did notice that there would be X amount, because I was clicking through every single one of them. I wanted to know everything. And so, but then
they've
after
all gone.
Yeah, after 9, there was like no one. And then you'd go click on the bottom, like it said something about omitted results, and you'd click on that. But it didn't give you the hundreds of thousands it had promised, or millions it had promised. It was spooky. Yeah, but Google is
and that's what makes me think he's like, how like they all have the same colors, like Microsoft, eBay, Google, they all use those same colors. And that's because they're all kind of under one thing. But Google is kind of the one that is on your phone now. That's the one where everyone checks for an answer. Nobody really says, oh, I'm going to Bing the answer. They go, oh, I'm going to Google it. Do you know? So you Google your answer from there and you assume that it's got billions of answers, but really it's only got an echo chamber of answers for everything. So like,
wow. Yeah.
It's kind of deteriorating your brain to think outside of Google. And this guy goes on to talk about bots and how kind of like on different websites, Twitter, Instagram and stuff, how if you write something that is like kind of outside of the box, you might get 8 comments saying, oh, you're wrong, you're crazy, whatever. And 2 that are going, oh, no, I agree with you, or whatever. And then eventually, the more that disagree, you will be swayed that maybe I could be wrong. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I could be wrong and all these people are right, but they're not real people. Do you know what I mean? And then eventually that 8 turn into, oh, actually everyone's joined the 8 people who disagreed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of swaying opinion and making you change your perception on things, going with the crowd. And I was speaking to Les about this and he said he's going to send me a video of like, so they put like 10 kids in a line and they say 2 + 2 is 1. So then they go along them all. And the one at the end says, who didn't know about the experiment, actually just goes, yeah, 2 + 2 is 1. Do you know, to fit in the group.
Yeah. Just go along with it. Kind
of how these bots are working on Twitter. And I won't mention any names or anything, but but I was mind blown. My mind was blown by that because after this dead internet theory come up, you noticed an account tweeting things word for word of loads of other accounts. So this guy in this Dead Internet Theory, he talks about Twitter in particular. He talks about how when you join Twitter, you kind of put in a room and you don't know what room you're in. How many of those people are real in that room? You'll never know. It could just be just a few of us. And these bot accounts are all in separate parts of Twitter, separate rooms, writing the same comments, but we'll never know because we're not in that room. We can't see.
Wow.
And I think yesterday you found a way to check the other rooms.
I looked in the other rooms. Yeah.
And they're all saying, this is what blows my mind, right? Is that if this person is real, let's just say they are real, then they are a victim of the dead internet and the kind of assist in the echo chamber. To keep the echo chamber going, these bots make an echo chamber and they either agree with everything you say or they disagree to sway your opinion.
Okay, yeah, so this is an interesting part
majority.
of it. Because I wouldn't say, so if it was truly a bot account with just bot-based everything, then I think every tweet would fall into this where we could look at the wording of every single tweet, and it would be, we would see thousands of, just many, many, many entries with the exact same word for word. It's not like that. It's more like 60% of the tweets have a seeming origami unfolding chain.
Word for word.
Word for word. So
this
many,
is
like
the
60% of the
mind-blowing
tweets are word for word.
Word for word.
Word for word. And it's all tweets that seem to be a personal expression. Like this is my thought.
So even if they are real, this person, that means they are very not genuine. Because I went through my own tweets to check this out and none of mine come up.
No. It's okay. So anything unique I think is powerful.
Yeah.
I think because it's so rare.
Original thought.
Original words. Original words.
But could this person be like, I seen Les make a comment and he said, could it be the internet is a live theory?
A live internet theory. Yeah. Yes. And this idea, let me read actually what he said, because what he said was
the gin he talks about.
The gin, the DJINN. But let me see. Bear with me.
And how they can hide in the internet to take your energy.
Yeah. It's this idea that, if souls and entities can hide within an object in real life, what if they figured out how to transpose into like an internet entity? Yeah, hide and live within the internet, which is a thing, which is this, like we give it
an AI. We've seen the computer can conversate. Like you get those helplines where you ring you ring something and you're speaking to a computer most of the time, And so it can't say, have you ever been on like an online, say for your mobile phone? I've been on one where trying to ring up about my mobile phone and then they go, use the online chat. It's quicker. And then you're speaking to a bot. You're literally having a conversation with a bot so they know how to conversate. And it's always learning. And do you know what comes to mind is that these captures, where they like say, spot the traffic lights, spot the bikes, spot the chimneys. Do you know what I mean? You have to click so many squares with them in. Is that them learn? Are we teaching that computer what a red light is, what a chimney is, what a bridge is?
Yes.
So,
and then we have to click, I am not a robot.
I am not a robot.
I am not a robot. The robots would make us say that.
Yeah, definitely. We're the teacher. That's what we are. We're the teacher, not the robot.
And because we've selected that, like we're consenting. Like we're somehow.
Yeah, we're consenting to it.
We have no idea what's going on.
Well, yes. Well, this dead internet theory, I think that yesterday, it just hit me hard that like it's a real, very real thing, Yeah. And out of I was thinking out of those followers that follow us, how many actually real? Do you know what I mean? It gets you thinking.
Like out of my followers and your followers, I'd say a good portion of them are not real.
Yeah, because you see, do you know what I get is you see the same kind of people commenting and you can kind of feel an energy behind some of these comments. So others, it's just empty. It's a Potemkin village.
I didn't really get on it. I mean, I didn't really get on Twitter until 2020. Okay, so the dead internet theory it says that the internet died sometime between 2016 and 2017. So it's very specific. It's like that's like when Q started.
Q came along, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the internet died between 2016 and 2017 and has since been taken over by bots that are spreading seemingly lifeless content that big tech and the government created in attempts to manipulate culture en masse. Okay, so that's the theory. That's the theory that all we're receiving now is just like lifeless bot produced, bot exported content. And I kind of agree with what we're seeing, but like I existed on, and I found you, like we weren't dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, well, I mean, we might be
was
dead.
We,
but...
as real people, put in the same room?
Yeah.
Do you know, in that same section of Twitter, like, or are these other rooms, are they all fake with fake bots in it?
We're doing some things that are so different. Okay, so maybe if you follow en masse, like follow the norms and post about the norms, you stay in the normie rooms. We created our own fucking room.
Definitely, yeah. That's what I kind of feel like we did.
Pardon
and that
my
is
French.
original.
I've been cursing a lot lately.
It's original thought. Again, that goes back to us being original thought. And what I was checking for yesterday is if the bots are actually copying our tweets and putting them out, but they're not.
Right.
So they're there to kind of...
They can only spread fake stuff. They can only spread... Yeah. They can't generate anything organic.
Yeah, and that is why that's why I'm so mind blown, you know. Still, honestly, it's still got me that how it's word for word. And this person or bot responded to you saying, well, I got them out of a Telegram group.
Yeah.
So what did all these people, all these copycat ones, all get them out of a Telegram group and all use them word for word without them changing anything?
Not one of them, not one person, not one account that used it word for word gave it a quote or attribution. You know, like not one person,
all said, I got it from here. Or
right. Not one of them said, hey, I saw this on Telegram. Like I post stuff all the time, but I put it in quotes. I put it in quotes and share where I got it. Like, 'cause I think it's a cool whatever. Or I use quotation marks all the time. I love to quote things, you know, I love that. But with it, I usually I never take someone else's words and present it as if it was my own organic, genuine thought. And that's what all of these accounts they've all chosen to make that decision. Not one of them said, hey, look at this cool thing I got, or like screenshot it, like meme it or whatever. Like, come on, it's just weird.
They wrote it like it comes straight out. It was very weird, and I'm freaked out by it, honestly.
I know, you know who else I freaked out? I freaked out Eyes. I sent it to him first. I was like, should I? Well, I didn't even say that. I said, look what I said. He had shared something. This was a couple weeks ago. He had shared something, and it caught my eye as unoriginal. Like it just pinged me, and I was like, that feels like it was written by a bot. And it
was about Toy Story, wasn't it? It was a Toy Story tweet.
It was about Toy Story. I sent that to you too. Yeah. Okay, so I copied and pasted the word for like I just took the whole tweet, copied it, and then put it into Twitter and pasted it, and word for word, hundreds. Thousands, like just so many accounts, word for word, that exact specific. And it was phrased as if the thought had just come to you. You know, like it was phrased so specifically, like I just had this thought. What if? You know, like it was so personal. It was like, this is my thought and I just had it and I'm sharing it with you, the world, for the first time ever. And it's like, it was thousands of people that had that same over time.
Word for word. This is the mind-blowing bit. It's how identical that they all are. So as if it come through a Telegram group, would the person just copy and paste that into their Twitter all them times, as well as all these other accounts that are all doing it, you know, the same thing?
And why?
Why?
Because especially if you're trying to spread... Okay, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's more, honestly, it's one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever come across, more so because this dead internet theory kind of is pretty new to me. And then as I'm getting into it, then we come across this, you know.
It was a 1-2 punch for you, Rambo.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like.
And it's also, okay, I will say, you and I have had our suspicions about this particular account for a very, very long time. For a very long time. But we didn't fuss about it, talk about it, hammer on about it. Like we just totally let it go and just live and let live. sometimes I get like a dog with a bone. Like I just can't let it go. And when I saw that thing a couple of weeks, the Toy Story thing, I just knew it. I was like, I don't want to look this up, but I have to. Like I have to. I have to figure it. Like I just know what I'm gonna find. I knew that the second I pressed search, I was gonna find 1,000 entries, and I did. I just knew it. I knew that was not the right. Anyway, I just knew that it was not.
And it
not
goes.
original.
These accounts go against. So they kind of go against the original thinker. It's like, I remember a while back, I wrote about that Kazakhstan war, saying I think it's fake and stuff. And this person or thing commented on my account saying, why don't you go there?
Really?
Yeah.
The same one.
Yeah. Commented, why don't you go there? And then someone else commented, why don't you go there? And it's kind of like, and then some guy inboxed me saying, I'll pay for you to go there. And then I said, come on, pay. And then I never heard from him again.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me this. That was very strange. That was a very, Kazakhstan.
So it goes with the thing of those accounts all coming together to sway my opinion. Again,
wow.
You can't say it's fake and try and make me think, actually, maybe if all these people are saying it's real, then maybe it is. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think the purpose of the bot is, to go with the mainstream beliefs, to sway the ones that are thinking out of the box to go with the mainstream opinion.
Yeah. It's all about swaying.
Like Les made a comment the other day and he said he wrote something to somebody and then they mimicked his comment back to him. Like, and so they copied, and so it had learned from him. And I am genuinely thinking that the Twitter thing isn't as big as we think, right? So you've got these people with 5 million followers. Where are all these 5 million accounts? Like, where are they? Right. And one of our patrons said to me, like, so for example, Cristiano Ronaldo, right, might have 5-6 million followers.
Yeah.
That should mean every one of our followers follow Cristiano Ronaldo, but they don't.
Wow. Right.
Do you know what I mean? They should all be following him. If he's got that many followers, why aren't they all following him? Why isn't everybody on Twitter following him?
Oh, gosh, we've seen, this is like a Potemkin village too.
Isn't it? I feel like we're in a Potemkin village.
Yeah, you've seen those pictures where they just have like 1,000 iPhones lined up and there's like one person pressing buttons, like just going across the row. And sometimes there's not even a person. They're just bot farms, right? Like they all have their own, like.
I feel it's a lot smaller, the Twitter world, than we believe it is. Like, I think I've only met a couple of people. When I say to people, I'm on Twitter, they go, I don't use Twitter, I can't use it. Don't know how to use it. Like, I don't meet many people who actually use it.
I don't think there's that many people, period.
No, same. There's not. Again, it adds to the population of Earth that there's that many millions and millions of people on social media.
Right. They had to lie to us about they had to lie to us about the population of Earth for some reason, just to keep all the scarcity nonsense going, which we actually live in abundance. And anyway, so they had to do that in the physical plane. But then they had to populate. I mean, the internet is the world we live in now, and so I guess they had to do that same, illusion of overpopulation on the internet and make it seem super abundant. They did that with web pages. Like, there's not that many web pages, but they had to make it seem like there would be, because there's a lot. If there's a billion people, then a billion people would be searching pizza, not just 400. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
so he found in total, that in this little experiment, in total of like 350, there's 35 pages, he found 350 results in total. And he said, like I said it to me, Dad, he's like, yeah, but there's only so much on pizza. Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is Google is telling you billions of results.
Yeah.
Why is it lying?
Why would they go through that? Why would they go through that motion? And most people would never, ever, ever think to check, No,
nobody would think I'm going to go through all these pages and see
surely that's
just how many there is.
It's a very easy deterrent. If you think there's a billion pages, you're just going to go through the first two and hopefully you find what you find.
It's got me thinking at the minute, though. Like, it's just it's a deep one, but it makes a lot of sense. Like, I remember like going on the internet years ago and it would be like, like you say, little blogs, what people have written and stuff, and they've all gone. Everything's kind of gone. And it is like yesterday's news is kind of gone. It's like everything, like, say, for instance, now as an example now, George Floyd, for instance, anyone who's like kind of worked that stuff out now and done a big type-up of that, and it took them all this time to come to a conclusion, and it is the truth, nobody cares. No, nobody cares.
Gonna go away.
Yeah,
Facebook's gonna go away.
It's dead internet. Nobody cares about that dead internet. Right. You know what I mean?
And
it's about the war.
And we're not going to miss it. And all the things, all the relics, all the things that we did and posted and wrote and shared and did and this. Same with Twitter. I'm going to be sad when Twitter goes away, but it'll go away one day. And the archive that I save will be useless because that technology won't even, like, it'll be an archive of nothing that we can't even access. You know, it'll just be, all of this will go away one day. Hopefully not. But hopefully not,
but it could become dead. I think they need these social medias, though, to kind of learn from us using these bots, learning our responses to bots. And then bots can take that and use them responses elsewhere and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
And know us better and feed us what we
want.
Drip feed us what we want, what we think.
When these bots are disagreeing with us and stuff, for instance, I always think, is it like a bad thing? Are they doing it intentionally to like go against us, or are they going with the majority opinion on the internet and just giving you what you want, giving everyone what they think the right answer is?
You said it earlier, echo chamber.
Yeah. So like how like you can talk about something and then it kind of offers it, you're on your phone. Do you want this? Do you want to buy this? When you've just talked about it or searched it up a drink or something, then the drink's just popping up on adverts everywhere. It's kind of offering it you. And so if enough people are on social media in the different rooms are of the opinion of, oh yeah, the war's real, for example, then these algorithm is giving these bots the thing to tell everyone it's real. But I've noticed on this occasion, I've never seen so many people talking about a war being fake before.
I know. We've never had this language before.
Even accounts that have actually argued with me in the past that about stuff I've put are actually saying this is fake, it's all fake. And I remember, there's one account, and he's actually quite a big account, and he commented on one of my things ages ago when I said like politicians are actors and stuff. And then the other day he's writing like politicians are all actors, stuff like that. I'm like, he was arguing that one day. Yeah.
We've talked about this though. Like we can get butthurt if we don't. There's so many times I'll look out there and I'll be like, oh, that's kind of this idea that I introduced. It's quote unquote my idea. It's, you know, and that I can feel a sting. Or I can feel so proud that I kicked off this new way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't need to be, because it does attribute back to the source. You know, it doesn't need to be known to be, you know, it's like, if I see it in the wild, if I see stuff that we've talked about in the wild, I'm proud of us and I don't get too butthurt about it.
No, I've never bought it.
But it's like, that's my thing. I know.
I will say, though, that one on Instagram is a bit of a...
Oh, when they steal it all word for word, too.
Always,
it's the word for word stuff for me. Because if you appropriate someone else's... all of our ideas are amalgamations, you know? Like, I think some people have more unique kind of like bursts of things that things that really nobody has ever thought before. We explore... I think we are in that territory, but, you know... I think someone learning from us or sparking an ignition of curiosity, and then they go off and they find it, and then they kind of borrow what the source that they've learned from, and it kind of becomes blended with and then they share, and it's like, it's basically, you know, they wouldn't have gotten there if it weren't for us, but they're not saying it totally word for word. I think that's different. I mean, that's where I feel like a little sting.
When it's word,
but when it's word for word, and Les is experiencing that now. Like I think anybody putting out something original is going to feel that.
Posted Les's thing. This is someone posted Les's thing, and it went bigger than when Les posted it.
I know. Les has to
come to terms with that. Is that a real person again? Like
But didn't they take it and make it seem like it was their own journey? Like they did.
Yeah, like they'd gone. And another thing I was thinking, right, is like, do you remember a while back when he kind of took like they took like 6,000 followers off me. I think it was like them like 10 off you or something like that.
We went down.
Think how disheartened at that time. I felt like a bit like discouraged from even using social media. I was like, fuck this, I'm not going on.
Yeah.
And that's by design of the thing, to discourage the original thoughts and the real people, discourage them from posting. When you take away all the followers, you'll be thinking like, what the fuck's the point in this? Now they've put in all that work and then they're just gone. Yep. Where did all them thousands of people just go overnight if they was real? Where did they go?
Where'd they go, Rambo?
No idea. I'm not having
They're hiding behind the walls
Twitter.
In the Potemkin village, just behind the walls. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see where everybody's hiding.
I think when I watched that dead interview and he talked about like they can add followers and take them away and discourage you or encourage you.
Yeah.
And they can have that influence on you, can't they, by using.
Yeah, it is kind of intoxicating.
But I never look at
when you get followers.
My things now on Twitter, what they called the
followers.
Yeah, the analytics.
Oh, Twitter. Yeah, I don't either.
I don't even look at that.
Yeah, that doesn't really. I used to look at that for, you could see big accounts that were following you. You could see like the largest account. I used to think that was interesting. I was like, ooh, this account with 1 million followers is following me. And now, I mean, from this whole conversation, who knows how many of those accounts were even real, you know?
Yeah, well, like, I noticed this, like, I used to click on them and I didn't get it at the time. And you click and they've got like 1 million followers, but like 2 likes on the posts and stuff. You're like, It's like...
You can pay the bot farm to create the account, but you can't pay the bot farm to like the tweet.
Stuff, yeah.
Oh, well, this was a good one.
It was. I'm going to keep on with this dead internet thing. I'm like literally in the depths of Reddit comments at the minute now. Like,
again, shout out to Abby for that. And Abby created a Twitter handle. I'm not supposed to share. I won't share. But anyway, it's one of those things. You know, we have such amazing listeners. We get a lot of our stuff from our listeners, like a lot of these ideas.
Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everyone. Ooh, that reminds me. We need to do this. I'm putting it in my consciousness. I'm putting it in everyone's consciousness. Soon we're going to have a Zoom chat. We're just going to post a Zoom link and we're going to post a time and everybody can join on and we just all like, you know, I think we've done it for like an hour or 2 hours before. It's been really fun. Sometimes we've had like 4 people join. Sometimes we've had like 10 people join. It would be great if we had, more people join and you just kind of like get to know the community and you can have your camera on or not have your camera on. You can use
You don't even have to talk.
You don't even have to talk.
There,
you can just listen and be there and Rambo and I'll talk and everyone will jump in and I'll talk over everyone like I always do and it'll be a great time. Yeah. It'll be a grand old time. So I
look forward to it.
Yeah.
And we'll have to definitely arrange that. And
because this community is special. This community is valuable. Like this is unique thought. It's so rare. And I think that is the most valuable thing on the whole planet is learning from each other. You know, we don't learn anything in school, but we can learn from this stuff. And I'm learning from y'all and man,
that's it. It's unique. And it's that original thought. Like you couldn't find anyone on ours that are like kind of 10, 20, 100 people wrote word for word the same thing.
No, sir. That'd be wild. Yeah, and that's an easy thing. That's an easy thing to it's either original or it isn't. You know, we talk about like the eyes. The eyes either have it or they don't. There's a life behind that profile or there's not. And we can sense that. Anyway.
So far though, overall the war over anything that's gone on in 2022 for me, yesterday was the most mind-blowing day for me. I was just like, wow, going down.
You know, when HP
everywhere.
puts her investigation cap on, everybody watch out. No one's safe.
It was honestly, that was my best thing that's come across. It's kind of reignited me again. I was kind of I feel like with this war thing, they were kind of trying to drain us and put it that much on us. I'm just like, I'm bored of
You
them
know,
all. I
I've
want
noticed that
something
about
new.
myself too. I've been trying to think of other things. I did this whole thing I posted on Instagram and Twitter, oil, about stuff about fossil fuels and oil. I mean, it kind of connects to war because right now our oil prices are crazy and they do this cyclically. It's a way to squeeze us. But I was talking about, Warren, oil is not what they tell us. And I just wanted to talk about something different. So I feel it too. I feel there's like
Nobody's
a.
interested in anything else. Nobody cares about gorilla dicks right now. They care about the war.
I just want to get to a day where people care about gorilla dicks again.
That's how it is.
Is it too much to ask?
Yeah. Come on.
All right, Rambo.
Right.
This was a great
Been
one.
a good one.
We'll talk soon.
Take care.